Hey, you guys, Coach Henry. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about our awesome program that's starting in 2 weeks, the Golden Strength Academy. Super pumped. It's an orientation. It's for all abilities. What's all abilities? Autism, Down syndrome, any type of learning, a handicap, anything that you feel is stopping you from being able to exercise. This program is for you. So what we're going to be doing throughout the program, it's going to be a group fitness program. And we're going to be doing an orientation. During the orientation, we're going to discuss a lot about the program, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to approach it, the progressions. I have a lot of excitement about the program. To be honest, I didn't even think of it until probably about 2 months ago. I was having a conversation with Brody's mom. Brody is one of the coolest humans I've ever trained in my entire life. He has Down syndrome. I've been working with him.
Awesome to work with. I've been able to mentor with Henry for a little while, and I've gone out to some of Brody's sessions, and it's some of the most fun sessions you can possibly imagine.
Coolest human in the world.
Yeah, coolest human in the world.
And I remember talking to his mom one time and asked her about, she actually mentioned that Brody was doing different programs. He's 21 now. And she was mentioning that all the different programs he's been doing to help him with learning and just kind of
getting ready for the NFL draft.
The NFL draft, right? Transitioning him into like being an adult. He went from high school, now he's an adult. And I asked her, I said, what programs exist for fitness outside of what you're doing with me? And she said, there's no programs.
Wow.
So she actually ended up emailing me a list of all the different programs within the Valley. And I did some research. I looked at all the programs, and the programs are awesome. Like they really have a lot of programs, but most of them were, I would say almost all of them had to do with developing social skills and things of that nature, speech, helping them with speech, and a lot of really good occupational therapists working with them. But when it came to fitness, I saw a really big gap. So since about November, I've done a lot of homework. I actually got my adaptive specialist certification. So I'm actually able to train individuals with special needs. However, with all abilities. All abilities. I actually just learned even that, the dialogue, this is all new to me. However, I have worked with athletes and individuals with all abilities since about 2015. I remember in 2015, I started working with some amputees, and I remember working with some autistic kids. And I remember the mom would ask me, they would always approach me the same way. They said, hey, Henry, can you train my son? I just got to let you know he's autistic. And at the time, I knew nothing about autism. I mean, I was spring chicken, right? And they would always warn me. Brody's mom was the same way. I got to remember the first time I talked to her on the phone, she goes, hey, I need you to train my son. Can you help him? This is Brody. And I was like, this name sounds so familiar. And she goes, oh, my son has Down syndrome. And it's almost like they would always tell me like as a warning, like, hey, can you train my son? And I said, I was like, heck yeah. So even though this program is new, it's very new, it's not new for me. And if I'm being quite honest, they're the best humans ever. One of my clients, one of my good friends / client, he asked me, he goes, Henry, am I your favorite client? And he asked me this last year. And I said, no, man, you're number 2. He goes, what? Who the heck is number 1? I said, his name's Brody. He goes, he thought about it. He goes, oh yeah, he's always going to be number 1.
What's the differences you'd say that you really like with working with Brody compared to a lot of your other clients? Obviously all clients are great, but like, what are some of the...
Oh my God. His attitude. I don't think he's ever had a bad day in his life.
Yeah, I feel like they're
literally, he's never had a bad day in his life.
Yeah.
He brings energy. I'll give you an example. Last week, he ran into the class. I was like, what's up, Brody? He had some gold chains on, and he's like, I'm ready for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He goes, I got to get stronger.
Easily motivated. Just
very motivated, very exciting. He's running around fist pumping everybody. He's always getting after it. And I ask him the same question at the end of every single session. I said, Brody, what was your favorite part about the session?
Yeah.
And he always answers the exact same way. He goes, all of it. I
All
said,
of
no,
it.
Brody, you got to choose one. You got to choose one. What was your favorite exercise? He goes, I can't. All of it. so Brody's awesome. And then to be honest, like even I remember my first time working with a kid who was autistic,
Yeah.
and I knew nothing about it. I'm like, I remember this was probably like 2015, 2016. And the mom called me afterwards. She goes, this is after the first session. She goes, how did it go?
Yeah.
And I said, to be honest, I'm not sure. I think he hates me. At the time, I was completely uneducated on autism.
Yeah.
All I said was like, sure, I'll train him. You know, if he wants to be trained, I'll train him. And
Yeah.
she explained that he doesn't have a lot of emotion. And she pretty much broke down his symptoms, and she explained to me about the spectrum. And
Yeah.
like I said, at the time I knew nothing about it. And I was like, she goes, all he talks about is the workout you guys did and how much fun he had and all this crazy, like he can't wait till his next session. And I'm thinking, he hates me.
You're over there. I can't sleep thinking about it. And he's over there. I can't sleep thinking about it. But he's excited.
Because once again, I was extremely uneducated on the topic. I knew nothing about autism, you know?
Yeah.
And now since that time, I've trained a lot of kids who have autism. A lot of them, actually not a lot of them, all of them have gotten scholarships. Yeah. I've trained some pitchers, a lot of baseball athletes. And what I've learned over the years is with every ability, they have a superpower. So for example, with Brody, with Down syndrome, energy is their superpower.
Yeah.
They're so energetic. Autism, focus. They're hyper focused. You give them a task, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, each individual is a little different, right? But this is very general, right?
Yeah.
And then I've also trained blind people, deaf. And what I've learned is that all of them have a superpower. All of them do.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're way more badass than I am, than all of us.
Yeah.
You know, and the common denominator that I've found with all of these abilities is not one of them sees themselves as not being able to, as being handicapped.
Like a lot of them, instead of having the mental of distraught, they're just like, dude, you know what? I'm born with this, but I want. They have the desire of want to accomplish.
Oh yeah.
Even more.
It's amazing. And I think, you know, I've learned a lot working with them, and I think we all can learn. You know, everybody needs a Brody in their life. Everybody does. So once again, January 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Icon Fitness. I'll put the link in the description. Is the orientation. So I invite everybody to come out, even if you don't have somebody who maybe in your direct family that has a disability, but you know somebody. Please share this link with them. Invite them. I want to impact them with fitness. And for those of you who don't know, and I've done a lot of research on this, a lot of them have to deal with autoimmunes, thyroid issues. And the research suggests that exercise is the best thing they can do.
Staying moving.
They got to keep moving. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of programs that offer fitness. And what really drove home for me was once they turn 18, the amount of resources available are even less.
Yeah.
So I'm very motivated by it. I'm very excited. David and I, we have a lot of fun with this, and this is, we're very, very happy to get this going. So don't forget, mark your calendars, Icon Fitness, January 27th at 6:30 p.m. Thank you guys. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Please come out. We'll see you then.